So students, now we are starting with the experiment of total Kjeldahl nitrogen. We will see the chemicals as well as the glassware. So we have distilled water, then we have copper sulfate, we have potassium sulfate, we have concentrated sulfuric acid, then we have phenolphthalein indicator, 50% sodium hydroxide for adjusting pH, 2% boric acid, then we have mix indicator, 1 normal sulfuric acid also we have, then we have other accessories, the glass beads, then this is the glassware. The first 3 flasks they are used for digestion, and the next 3 they are used for distillation. And then we have conical flask with special type of stopper arrangement for that we will be using during distillation again. And this is our total Kjeldahl nitrogen accessories, and this is our total Kjeldahl nitrogen distillation columns. So we will be using these distillation columns, this entire equipment assembly during the further procedure. Now we will go to the procedural part. So now we are ready with the digester sample. We have taken 100 ml of the digester sample. Now this digester sample will be transferred into the digestion flasks. Yes, it is 100 ml. We are going to transfer it into the digestion flask. So 100 ml is taken, well shaken sample was taken. Now as it has settled, so again we will rinse the measuring cylinder couple of times, and we will see to it that all contents they get transferred into the digestion flask. Yes, so all the contents have got transferred into the digestion flask. Now we are going to add 10 ml of concentrated sulfuric acid. 10 ml of concentrated sulfuric acid first. So 10 ml of sulfuric acid is being added, you can see. So sulfuric acid is never to be sucked in the pipette, so we use that rubber ball and adjust it to 10 ml. Add it to the digestion flask. Then we are going to add 1 ml of copper sulfate solution. You can see the bumping, the fumes coming out because of addition of concentrated sulfuric acid. Yes, so sulfuric acid has been added. Now we are going to add 1 ml of copper sulfate. So Ingole sir is adding 1 ml of copper sulfate. Yes. So adjust the reading to 9, and from 9 let it go to 10. Yes. Just hold it. Okay. So we are going to add few glass beads now. Glass beads, and we are also going to add 1 spatula of potassium sulfate, that is about 5 grams of potassium sulfate. And as we had done in COD experiment, so these glass beads are used while heating to avoid bumping, and this is 5 grams of potassium sulfate. So it is being added. It is added. So we are adding 5 ml of potassium sulfate. So this is our total Kjeldahl digestion flasks. So similar flasks with similar contents will be prepared, one for our grey water sample as usual, and other we will run with distilled water. So you can see the one which is used for distilled water is very, very clear as compared to the digestion flask that we use for samples, because it has got it gets color and everything developed in that, whereas distilled water being clean, this is comparatively clear. So we will fill those 2 distillation flasks also, rather digestion flasks, and we will keep it in the assembly for digestion for half an hour. So Ingole sir, you keep it for digestion for half an hour. Just put that flask there for heating. Yes. Okay, now we are going to keep it for digestion for half an hour. Similarly, other 2 flasks will be prepared and they will be kept in the other slots for digestion. As we have done for the digester outlet sample, similarly we have kept the other sample, that is our grey water, and the distilled water as blank for comparison. So all the contents that we have added in the first flask for digester, that is say sulfuric acid, copper sulfate, then phosphate powder, etc. So all those they have been added in the other two digestion flasks also, and now this has been kept for digestion. You can see that the fumes are coming out. Okay, so this is being heated and the fumes are coming out. Now we will keep it for digestion for half an hour, and after a digestion period of half an hour we will. So we are continuing with the digestion, as you can see, and now the samples have got clear color as compared to their earlier color. The samples have got clear color, and you can see the fumes that are coming out. The digestion process is going on. So after about half an hour we are going to keep it for distillation. So the further part we will be doing after say 10-15 minutes. Now already 20 minutes are over. So after 10 minutes we will stop the digestion and we will go for distillation. So you can see we are continuing with the digestion process, and the contents in the flasks, they are getting clearer and clearer. So as they have mentioned that about 50% reduction in volume and clear coloring we can see in first both the digestion flask, and of course the third one is our distilled water, and you can see the fumes of digestion clearly coming out of these three flasks. So after about 5 to 10 minutes now we will stop the digestion and we will now move to the further part of distillation. Now the digestion is over. The digestion flask, they have come to the room temperature. Now we are going to the distillation phase. So for that we are going to add about 250 ml of distilled water, as you can see, and we are going to make the total volume to around 300 ml. Now to this distillation flask, now we are going to add alkaline solution using NaOH, sodium hydroxide solution. So the sodium hydroxide solution will be added. You can see this is NaOH solution. So it is being added, and we are also adding phenolphthalein indicator. So first the phenolphthalein indicator is being added. Takla? Padla? Okay. Okay. This distillate along with say 250 ml distilled water and phenolphthalein indicator has been taken in the distillation flask. We will check that this particular solution is acidic in nature. So you can see the litmus paper has changed to pink, and as per our color comparison you can see that pink color, it indicates that it is acidic. You can see, so it is acidic. Now we want to make it alkaline. So for making it alkaline we are going to add say one normal sodium hydroxide solution. About 5 ml solution will be added. So we will add sodium hydroxide gradually, and we will check the pH also. So after every say 5 ml and thereafter 5 ml and thereafter 1 ml we will check the pH, and when the pH turns alkaline we will stop adding sodium hydroxide solution. Gradually we have added sodium hydroxide, one normal, and now you can see that the contents in the distillation flask, they have turned alkaline. You can see the color change. The litmus paper has changed to, pH paper has changed to blue, and as per our color indication, blue color on pH scale. Show that one. No, this one. So you can see that this is
10 to 12
alkaline and pH is around 10 to 12. So similar process will be done for the sample, that is the digester sample, as well as the grey water sample. So now this is the digester sample after digestion from the digestion in the digestion flask. So we are adding about 250 ml of distilled water. After adding distilled water, we will add phenolphthalein indicator. So phenolphthalein indicator will be added. Now this was digested in the acidic media in presence of concentrated sulfuric acid. Now we want to make the solution alkaline. So for that we are using sodium hydroxide solution. So this sodium hydroxide, as we added in blank sample, here also NaOH will be added and the contents of the digestion flask will be made alkaline. So for making it alkaline, we are adding sodium hydroxide solution. Just check the pH once, just in case. So we will check the pH once. If it has gone to alkaline, we will stop. Otherwise, we will continue adding the sodium hydroxide solution. So as you can see, still it is acidic. So we need to add sodium hydroxide further. It is 50% sodium hydroxide solution. So we need to add it, because you can understand, the point is clear. Earlier we had added concentrated sulfuric acid. So it was high normality sulfuric acid, and now we are trying to neutralize it with comparatively dilute sodium hydroxide. And the reason is, if we make we use say concentrated sodium hydroxide, immediately it will become alkaline, and we want to change from its acidic nature to alkaline nature. It should change gradually, and for that gradual change we are using the dilute sodium hydroxide solution. Otherwise we could have used concentrated sodium hydroxide solution as we did for concentrated sulfuric acid. Now you can see that it has turned alkaline. Okay. So now we are going to transfer those contents in the distillation flask. So Ingole sir, he is taking the distillation flask, and you can see that from the digestion flask now, the special kind of distillation flasks are used. So already we have done it for the blank sample. Now we are doing it for the digester sample, and the same procedure will be done for the grey water as well. Now I am not going to show you the procedure for the grey water. Grey water directly we will put in the distillation assembly, and now from all the 3 distillation flasks we will collect the distillate. Now this is the assembly for distillation, and for this assembly we apply grease so that the fixtures they get removed easily afterwards on distillation, otherwise they get jammed. So we are applying grease at the necks, at the joints, so that the things get removed very easily. So on all the joints as such, the grease is being applied, and now we will attach this distillation assembly to the distillation flask, and we will keep it for distillation, and we will collect the required amount of distillate. So you can see, we will show you for one of the distillation flasks. So wherein the sample, this is sample or blank? Sample, no? Yes. So for the sample, we are arranging the distillation assembly, as you can see here. So it is to be assembled properly. So this needs to be done very carefully, and the experience comes into picture. So our lab assistant Ingole sir is very well conversant with this procedure. So he is arranging the distillation assembly, as you can see. Now it has been arranged for 1. Similarly, he will arrange for the remaining 2, and then we will actually start the distillation procedure. So again, that part we will do on our own, and we will start with the distillation procedure. Now this is the distillate collection assembly, and we will be collecting the distillate 200 ml each in this assembly, and for that we have to add 2% boric acid solution. So 50 ml of boric acid, 50 ml of 2% boric acid solution will be added to each of these collecting flasks. So we are going to add 50% boric acid. We are going to dip this tube in that, so that the mouth is dipped in boric acid. And the reason why we do this is because then the nitrogen doesn't get expelled out in the air, it remains in the solution form. So these three distillate collection assembly for our 3 distillation flasks are filled with 50 ml of boric acid solution 2%. Now we are going to transfer this below the distillation assembly to collect the distillate. Yes. So yeah, you can. So we will make the arrangements here. Now as you can see, our distillate collection assembly is ready. As you can see, the bottom of the distillate tube is immersed in the boric acid solution in all the 3 distillate flasks. So we are going to collect now the distillate in each of these conical flasks, and 200 ml distillate will be collected. You can see that we have started with the supply of water. So water will be used as condenser. You can see we have started the flow of water, and this will be water will be used, as I said, as condenser. This water will cool the fumes that are coming from the distillation flasks, and the distillate will get collected here. So as you can see, already the bubbles have started. So the distillate is getting collected, and you can see the distillate has started getting collected. You can see the bubbles coming. So it is an indication that the distillation process has started, and the distillate is getting collected in all the 3 conical flasks as such. And now we will continue this procedure till we get about 200 ml of distillate in this. So already we had added 50 ml of boric acid. So our total volume in the conical flask till it reaches to around 250, we will continue this procedure. So now you can see that the distillate is getting collected, and it is coming into the conical flask, and we have to collect 200 ml of distillate, and earlier we had 50 ml of boric acid solution, so 250 ml. So somewhere it has got collected, and in some of the beakers yet we have to collect the 250 ml sample, total sample having 200 ml distillate. You can see the bubbles that are coming up, and they are going into the conical flasks. So likewise we will collect 250 ml of distillate, and then we will do the further part of titration. Students, now we are here with the final titration of our total Kjeldahl nitrogen experiment. So we are starting with the digester sample first. So we have 250 ml of the sample, the distillate. Distillate part is 200, and 250 earlier boric acid was there. So now to that we are adding about 0.5 ml of mix indicator. Okay, so when we add the mix indicator, so actually we are getting here lavender color. So let us see what ml we get, because they have said that the end point is from green to lavender. So let us see if we get some shades of green or not. This is blank. Okay. So for blank we are directly getting lavender color. So blank reading is 0. So that is correct. Now we will go to the sample. So now this is our second sample. We have taken the 200 ml distillate. We are adding the indicator, mixed indicator 0.5 ml. Now when we have added mixed indicator here, as you can see, we are getting green color. Now we are going to titrate it against sulfuric acid, 0.1 normal sulfuric acid, and the color is from green to lavender. So you can see the lavender color has appeared, and we will record. It should remain permanently. So we will continue and record when the entire sample not only just turns lavender, but it remains as it is. So here you can see that the sample has turned lavender, and that is the end point, and we will record the reading. So now this is the second sample. So again we are adding the 0.5 ml of mixed indicator and 200 ml or 200 ml plus 50 ml including boric solution was taken. Now you can see the first is green color initial, and then it becomes lavender. So again we are going to titrate it till the sample turns lavender. If you remember, as compared to the earlier sample, this green shade is less, and immediately you can see that it is turning lavender. So the ml of titrant required here also will be less. Yeah, it has turned lavender. Ingole sir?
Yes, sir.
How much is the ml of titrant?
Sir, 4.5.
Huh?
4.5.
4.5.
Yes.
That is the final reading, or
Final.
means so many ml of titrant have been used?
4.5.
But so many ml of titrant have been used. What was the initial reading?
No. Final reading 4.5.
4.5 ml. Okay. Yes. So we will do the calculation part and further discussion part. Okay.